Hey guys, my name is OrangeSamuraiD, and I'm a player, judge, content creator, and caster for the One Piece card game. Now, you might have seen based on the thumbnail, One Piece card game Bible. What's that? So, it's a thing that came about quite a bit ago, where I wanted to make a place where everybody can find every source possible to make sure they're in the know of what to do, when to do it, where to go, how to get it. Originally, one of the biggest examples of this is a lot of people asking, when are these events happening? How do you find out? How do you get all these updates? And the answer is quite simple. Just looking it up online and finding it via official sources. One other example that I would say it was during the European card game finals. And what happens was that the signups were advertised via the Raid and Trade Discord, and not a lot of people were on that Discord, so they missed out on signing up until they found out after. And I think it is a very important part of the game and the community to know where to go for these places. So that's why I'm making this video. So let's get to it. And we finally have it here, guys, the One Piece card game Bible. I've been looking forward to making this video for quite some time. Finally got the time in my schedule and the motivation to get it written up and recorded. One thing I want to say is that you don't necessarily have to watch a slideshow, shocker, but I do have the link for this slideshow on the video description, and I also made a Linktree link that you can go into that will show you every single URL that I have in this video. So to begin, introduction. The One Piece card game has been out for over a year and has had a meteoric rise to the top of the charts of TCGs. The big three have now turned into the big four, and that's the thing that's actually happening in real time, because sales-wise in Japan, One Piece is at the very top. Not in number one, but it's getting there in that top five. It's overtaking Magic, and it's one of the top IPs in Japan and Asia. For the US, it's also top of the charts. TCG Player, it's one of the best-selling games on all the LGSs, so it's definitely getting to a point where it's gonna possibly overtake Magic. Yeah, so the big four. And in this presentation, I hope to guide you through everything there is to know about the One Piece card game. So next, introduction continuation. Here in this presentation, I want you to accomplish the following. Introduce you to all the official sources of One Piece card game. So like websites, social media pages, Facebooks, Instagrams, all that stuff. Familiarize you with the majority of the tournament organizers, or TOs, namely their Discords, because they have websites, but Discords are what are more interactive and finding out information. They're usually quicker on updates. They got a bigger community per se, rather than just look at an actual website. Provide you a link to the OPTCG sim made by Batsu from Batsu Games. So as we all know, Batsu is a big member of this community who made a fan-operated simulator for the One Piece card game. So it's a really cool thing that it's free for us to use. We can do all these cool things with it. But more on that later. Invite you to One Piece communities, Facebook groups, and Discord servers. So again, like I said before, One Piece is big, and there's many communities you can join into, and I want to highlight some of them for you. Facebook, Discords, and so on. Showcase other valuable resources for the game, databases, deck builders, and articles. Again, One Piece is big, so it's a lot of ways that you can use certain tools to help you with the game, like deck builders. There's websites that have all these like news. There's websites that have all these tournament reports, written articles by players, and so on. Highlight content creators who report on news, make tutorials, record gameplay, or are fun to watch. A lot of those coming in that list. Just wait. Recommendations on where to purchase One Piece card game products. Yeah, so that's a very tough question, but I'm going to answer it the best I can and give you my personal recommendations. Official sources. The One Piece card game has several official sources all over the internet, including websites, social media pages, and YouTube channels. So here's the links. There's where you start off giving all the official sources and all the links for you to use. And you can actually use these links on the description from the slideshow or the Linktree, by the way, don't forget. Yeah, so there's a few websites that you should know about. More importantly for us, in the global version, that is the English version of the game, the first link at the top, that one is going to be the homepage for everything for news in One Piece. That's where you see product releases, that's where you see event announcements. Example, that's where you will see, like, usually it updates every Friday, and you will see things like, oh, we're having new regionals, new treasure cups. That is the place where it would update and will tell you, hey, these events are being announced. These are the dates that are going to be happening. And it's kind of a two-way street because that's the announcement for the events, but also those events you have to go to the TOs for the rest. Also, that website provides you all these resources such as how to get what products are being announced, what events are being announced, our limited and ban list. Right now we don't have much going on, but that list does update from time to time, quite frequently. It's also going to show you the rules, the Q&As for every set. You can actually see every card that's currently available in that website in a card list. After that, we got the Asia website, which is kind of a mirror image of the Japanese version one, the one underneath. And it's about the same thing, but it is written in English because a lot of players in Asia are actually English speakers or don't speak Japanese, so it's easier for them. I guess, English is more universal, so like Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, and so on, that's who it's for. Or, no, not Australia. Australia will be global. So, for a quick recap, global is going to be Australia, Oceania, Latin America, so all of South America, Central America, North America, Canada and the US, Europe, and all the European countries, right? So that's the global, so y'all know. Then we got the Chinese website. Chinese is going to be a separate thing because they got announced that are having its own version of the game in the simplified Chinese language. It's really cool. Every so often, they're actually announcing special exclusive cards. Like they got the Bo Hancock, the Treasure Rare. They got now Rebecca coming up too, so that's kind of cool. I think every region is getting its own separate Treasure Rare. They might get one for Korea. Who knows? Korea. Korea is also another country that is getting its own language for the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much on that besides the fact that it got announced. It's already selling set 1 and the starter decks, but there's no actual website for them. So I'm assuming that they're going to use the Asia website. Official sources and social media. So this is a big thing for me because I'm very against misinformation and very against people finding things and sharing them and them not being official sources. Always see people sharing all these cards. They go like, oh my god, this is real, and it's Photoshop. It's a fake card. And a lot of people or content creators don't specify that this is a fake card, and people are misled on what it is. So I'm going to show you what these are the official social media pages for you to look into. For Facebook, they have the official English page. That one is the one that has all the pictures for current events. Every now and then they'll show deck lists of the first and second place. They'll announce, recently they said there's going to be a delay in Europe for EVO1. So that's where they have all their main news sources, news post. They got the Asia page, very similar to the English one, but it's obviously for the Asia version of the game. And namely, I think that they recently did was they always put their ban list, and they always say, most recently they had an instance where they're now saying that you can only play in major Japanese events if you're a Japan resident, and so on. So they had this whole explanation on their page. Then for Twitter, X, the Japan account. That is the big one. The Japan account is the one that shows you all the card reveals, all the reposts of the YouTube videos by Gavin. That's going to be the main place for any information regarding the game from Japan. After that, we got the global English account, and that one is also a mirror to the Facebook English page. Technically the same exact thing, just that sometimes they have more pictures in the English. So they split up their posts on the Twitter one because of the 4-picture limitation. But same thing, really. After that, we got the Eiichiro Oda staff account. And I mentioned this one because every so often they'll show like neat little things for One Piece card game that are not seen on the Japanese account. Like they have one for Luffy Sabo Ace School Days, or they had this promo. I think it was the Sabo Treasure Cruise promo. And that was shown via that Twitter account. So sometimes you'll see things trickled in from there. YouTube channels. For YouTube channels, we got quite a few ones. We have the Japanese channel, and that's the one that has Gavin doing his commentating for the big CS events, the championships, 3-on-3s, all that stuff. Also, that is where they do all his product openings. And then we got the Bandai Card Games English, and that one is the place where we saw our side of our North American finals. Those were streamed in that website. And then also we had Ying and Doa also stream the World Championship Finals via that YouTube channel. For that, we got the Bandai Japanese website, and that one, I'm just putting it out there in case of anything, but I don't think there's anything going on there besides any product announcements. But normally, you're gonna go to those top two channels first, How to check if legitimate, and very important thing. There are many ways to find if a page is legitimate. You can either go by the description, and a lot of times you can just tell by the way they're written, like how the description is. It will say where they're from. It will specify if they're fan made or like unofficial. Big example, it's that technically One Piece card game doesn't have an official Instagram. There is an official One Piece Instagram or an Ichiro one, but not a One Piece card game one. And for quite some time, there was one Instagram account that got huge all of a sudden. But then when you look on the description and you see where it's from Australia. And later on, I think they were told to. They now mention that they're an unofficial fan-made account because it could be misleading, right? Then verification. Verification, it's like you have a little check on your page. They do it for Facebook, X, they do it for Instagram. But sometimes, lately, what they've been doing is they're selling verification badges. So, example, I have one on X because it gives me some benefits. Like I can edit my posts, which you cannot normally do on X, Twitter. So you gotta just read carefully and see who is a legitimate account, who is someone that's paying for verification and so on. But more often than not, you're gonna stick to the websites and pages that I mentioned earlier on the other slide. Tournament organizers. A tournament organizer, or TO, is a company that organizes events such as our regionals and treasure cups. Most TOs operate regionally near their home base, but sometimes go to other cities to host events and also host online events within their discords. So here's mostly a display of what we have for current TOs. Of course, there's more. Example, there's one in Spain, I think it's Gameria. There's another in France. I don't quite recall his name, but occasionally some other TOs will come in for Europe especially. But these are the main ones for every region. I'm going to go over them and give you their Discord links. So for North America, the NA region, we're going to have Carta Magica, and that's going to be a Canadian TO. They're also a store, I believe, and they have their own Twitch. They have do their in-person events in Montreal, Niagara Falls, and so on. They also do their online Discord ones. And we got Core TCG, and Core is a California-based TO. They have all the events in LA, Pasadena, in that area, right? And they're also a big Discord where we have all these, 500, 1,000 person events. Play TCG, I believe Play TCG is currently one of the TOs overseeing all the other TOs. But they're a Texas-based TO, and like I said, they also do their events in Dallas. They do in Austin. They have their in-person and their online events. Currently, they also do other little things, like they do Gen Con. They're the ones in charge of that, for example. Pro Play Games, and that is my home TO, I guess, because I'm closer to them. They're from Miami. I'm in Orlando. And also, they're a store. And they do events all over Florida, sometimes Georgia. They've gone to Knoxville. So they take care of all these things in the south or east side. Namely, I believe they have a regional for Dragon Ball Fusion World in North Carolina. They have done One Piece in Knoxville. They have done other events for other card games, but they operate in that southeastern bubble of the country. And again, all in person, and also some Discord events too. They also do other, locals, case tournaments and whatnot. Top Cut events from Illinois, and this is one of my favorite ones because even though they're usually hosting the events in the Peoria Civic Center, which is quite a drive because you have to go from Springfield or Chicago and then drive over there. But I don't know. I just like the way this TO operates because they're very efficient and they have always had their in-person events in Peoria, and then they have their online ones on their Discord. Tournament organizers in Europe, EU. So there's a lot more, like I said earlier, in France and Spain and Italy, but these are the ones that are always usually there. No Heroes from Germany. They are one of the main ones to do things in the German side. They also were present at the One Piece Card Game Finals. Organized Play Events, or OPE in the UK. So these are the English ones, and mostly again they do it in the UK, and they have their in-person events. They do their Discord tournaments. They're very prompt about putting a deck list on their social media too, which is really nice. Raid and Trade from Germany also, and this is the TO that operated the One Piece Card Game Finals in Europe. Really nice guys. I like the staff. They have great judges over there. And again, you know, they do their in-person and they do their online ones. Then TOs in Latin America, the LATAM region. There's not much here because the hotspots for One Piece are going to be mostly Chile in South America and Mexico in, geographically correct, North America. So Play Latam, it's a Chile-based TO, and that one is the one in charge of doing all the in-person ones in Santiago, Chile. And that one does not have a Discord, but I'm putting down the website so you know, so you have it. Then we got Latam TCG, and that is the online one. That's the one that runs all the online events for Latam. That's our Discord right there. And then Sang Sang events in Mexico. This is a great TO. They've invited me to a few of their events to cast and judge. They've had events in Cancun. They've had events in other cities. Well, most right now they're doing them in Mexico City, and they're a great TO. They do a lot of great stuff with their in-person regionals. From a lot of the comments that I've gotten for people that travel from NA to Mexico, they love the presentation. They have the best production value, great staff, friendly and knowledgeable. You know, it's a great TO, and I am happy to always work with them, you know. And not a whole lot here. We got Tag Games, and that one is the main TO in the Oceania, Australia region, and they're in charge of the in-persons, you know, at Sydney, Brisbane, so on, and then they do their Discord ones too. Now, just because I mentioned those TOs doesn't mean that's all of them. Like I said, there's more in Europe. And also, we're giving more chances to TOs in North America. As of right now, top of this writing, there's been a few test events, which are regional-like events. So it's literally a regional, but the prices are a little bit different. Same serials, same top 8, 16, whichever, but they give out less invites because it is a test event. So most recently, in examples have been 401 Games in Canada, the Booster Box in Virginia, and Versus Games, one of my LGSs in Florida. So these events have been great. I think all three of those have been a great success. People have loved doing those events. All those three TOs did amazing. Versus had a fantastic stream. No complaints were made from the players regarding the event at all, I think. And I'm very happy that they had a great time, and I look forward to seeing events from all these TOs in the future. The importance of knowing TOs. If you intend on participating on big events like regionals and treasure cups, it is important that you familiarize yourself with your region's TOs. Their Discord servers are filled with information regarding their events and can be used to communicate any questions, comments, concerns, or hold discussion. And that is very true because all their Discords, they have all their categories for all the games because, you know, they do other Bandai games, Fashion World, Masters, Digimon, and so on, right? But they have their own chat channels, and one could be for like judge questions, event questions. They will have announcements on when sign-ups are happening. They will have a general chat. People can ask, oh, what's everybody playing? So it's definitely a good to know and be able to be on those Discords. You can get ahead of the game and know when things are happening. The One Piece Sim. The One Piece Sim, or OPTCG Sim, or the One Piece Sim as we all know, is a non-official fan-operated project by Meibatsu from Batsu Games. The sim is an app-based simulator where players can gather to deck build and play test games, as well as most recently play on a ranked ladder via Discord. Yeah, there's ranked. Or also be an app thanks to TCG matchmaking. Yeah, so the sim is something that came about quite a while ago, and at first it looks very bare bones, but it's got a lot, and it's a lot of work because it's solely done by one person, Batsu, from his little slew of games that he makes, and we're so thankful for him to doing all these things because he doesn't have to do any of this, but he does it because he loves the games, and we appreciate that. Here are the links on how to get the One Piece sim. There's two of those. One is a Dropbox, one is a Drive, and there's many other ways, and there's workarounds. You can always look up how to get around all the download limits. But I'm going to also give you the link to Batsu's Discord to get more info. And again, thank you, Batsu, for making the One Piece sim. We are all very thankful that you made this because it's giving us another way for us to play the game and get to know each other and practice. So it's been, another outlet to playing the game besides just webcam testing or playing on tabletop simulator or in person. Batsu's a really cool guy and there's a lot for the community for the sim. If you appreciate what he does, be sure to give him a follow on X. He has a Twitter account, X account. Give him a follow. Please check out the Discord that he has if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. The One Piece card game ranked. Yeah, so earlier this year, my buddy Impact and Twisted TCG and TCG Luffy, they created a Discord server with the idea of making a ranked server. And the way that it works, it's via a Discord bot where you queue up, you put in your deck, and you get a code. No, you get put in a room with somebody else. You tell them each other's your code to get on the room for One Piece card game sim, and then you play it out, and then you put in the results. And that tracks your wins and losses, your ELO, and it's a whole ladder on who has the most wins, who has the best record, and so on. Super cool stuff. But most recently, they actually created an in-app rank system called OP Bounty. And that one is right inside the One Piece sim that you just click into and you play the game, you gain bounties. So instead of just doing like MMR, ELO, all those points, it's more thematic to One Piece where you choose to be in the Navy or a pirate and they got bounties and the pricing on your head per se is going to be how high your rank is. One Piece online communities. One Piece card game is a highly successful, thriving game being played across the world, and it goes without saying that we're all connected via the internet. Here are some places people can gather. Yeah, so here is some communities that I'm a part of that I know are going to be good for you guys. You can check them out. We got the global group, and that's going to be the biggest Facebook group in the world for One Piece right now. It's got about 29,000 members. People from Europe, Latin America, all over, they post in there. So a lot of news are being shared through that Facebook group. Then we got the One Piece Guardian community, an alternative community you can go into. It's about the same, but sometimes people want to have more focused things. So that one's a nice place to go to. It's run by my friend Jack. And then we have the competitive discussion group. And that one, again, is more thematically focused. It's going to have more things about like the metagame, the format, the competitive discussion. So go ahead, check that one out too. And then the personal plug, that's going to be the Florida One Piece card game community. That is the Facebook group that I created back years ago when the game got officially announced. And I tried my hardest to get the game to pop off in Florida. I contacted every store, told them about the game, inquired about pre-release. I made this whole list of what local tournaments are happening throughout the week in a pinned post in that group. So you're in Florida or you want to go to Florida and play events there, join the group, check it out. It's really nice. There's also a sibling group, which is for sales for Florida, so check it out. And then we got the One Piece card game market, and this is one of the many Facebook marketplace groups where you can go into, sell your cards, buy cards, trade. You can do it all through there. Now for Discord, it's not a whole lot per se because I wanted to be more concise on what its goals are and themes. So most importantly, the One Piece card game trading community. That one is going to be the biggest Discord. It has over 20,000 members. It's one of the older servers probably, and it's got everything. Competitive discussion, news, art, commissions, a whole slew of things. It's a very general Discord that people can talk about anything really. Then there's TCG matchmaking, and that is a Discord for the ranked server for One Piece card game that we use. And that's where you can either go into to get info on OP Bounty or see your rank for the Discord version of the rank ladder. So really useful website. Check it out. And then we have Orange Crew, which is going to be my personal Discord. I haven't used it in quite a bit, but I'm going to give it some love pretty soon. I'm going to do more personal stuff in that one. So you can check it out, please, if you want to help me out. And then most importantly, actually, this is the only official one that I'm showing, and it's going to be Bandai Organized Play. And that one is essentially the Judge Discord, and this is one where people can come in and ask judges questions. This is where people that aspire to be judges can go in and apply, do their test, and then join the community of judges. Also, this one where any concern about events, rules, about anything about the game, it can be discussed there. So it's a very great asset to have that on hand to join that Discord. Resources.
There's several resources for the game, databases, deck builders, and articles. In the following slide, I'll show you what some of them are. Yeah, so the only official one that I'm showing here is going to be Bandai TCG Plus, and that's going to be a phone app, also a web app too. You can go into and you make your account, and that is essentially the way for you to get into events. You're going to create a Bandai ID, you're going to get a Bandai ID number, and that is how you enter your local tournaments, how you do all these special events like pre-releases, sealed battles, all these things. Another notable detail is that an example, Bandai TCG Plus is what was used to sign up for the North American Finals. So very important that you have it, because the game does ask you for a Bandai ID number when you play at major events. Eggman events, the global version, premier website, any tournament report that happened in the West, sometimes in Asia, this can be the spot. Hayden, the Eggman, does a great job at giving you every single deck list. He puts it in a nice, concise pie chart to show you what decks did better, who ran them. It's also most recently have its own deck builder too. You want to check it out. It's been really useful. And then One Piece Top Decks. That was one of the founding original One Piece card game websites. And it is mostly Asia focused, but it's got a bit of everything. And it's going to have all these deck lists, all these news. It has also articles by players. Like example, Leon from Australia, he won a regional with Whitebeard, so he had an interview. Josh Graham, he did good at an event in Mexico, so he got an interview. So they're always interviewing top players and asking them about their events and how they did. So really nice resource. Then after that is One Piece Card Game Dev and Nakama Decks, and those two are, I would say, the biggest deck builders after Evian events. And they have their own spice to them. They look a little bit different on their layout schematic. Personally, I like Nakama Decks better on how it looks because it puts the leader separate, so it's spaced out differently. But they're both very good and very useful resources to have. Content creators. Content creators are a big part of the community, as they are the ones that keep the community informed, entertained, and educated via their content, whether it's deck profiles, news, meta-analysis, or just plain goofing. So here's a few. It's like, that other game where it's 150, right? I can't name them all. There's too many. But I'm going to give you my personal recommendations, what I think some of the best are. If you're not on this list, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to be as concise as possible with this list and target specific content creators. First up, we have SRFD Chast and YT Noah. These two are some of the biggest YouTubers in Asia. They have been covering the game since the beginning. They've also casted in their own region. They've done events for, Southeast Asia. Really cool guys. Check them out. We got Wasi Plays, and Wasi he does other games, but he was one of the original people that was covering the game since pre-release, and he's always on top of the news. He will make every single news video, anything about like prices, the meta. He's always having a video about things, and in my opinion, he is one of the more positive figures in the community. And he was also a caster for other regional Treasure Cups, and he also casted the One Piece Card Game Finals in Europe. So really cool guy. I actually got to meet him in person when I went to Utrecht. Highly recommend his channel. Then we got Joku DMD. This guy, if you never met him in person, once you do, things will change, because this man, he's a trip. He is one of the most interesting people that I've ever met in the One Piece community. He does everything. He does his videos. He does all these booster pack openings, and he always has this flair to him. Like, he will give him all these analogies from when he went to Japan, how he met this person. Really interesting stories accompanying the booster pack opening, right? He also does live streams, and he has a little side business called Kaisuku Cards, and he makes a lot of custom cards. He recently partnered with someone to make a trade binder, so he does a lot for the community. Super nice guy. If you ever meet him, tell him I say hi. And then something a little bit more different than news and fun videos, we have something more competitive, right? We have Will to Win Gaming, and this one, Will is a player that came from another game, and he has been pretty much been at the top of the rankings for quite some time. He's always been consistent on top in events, playing the best decks. sometimes innovating. He played Kuro on top with it, for example. And then he has recently gotten more people involved with the channel. He's got Eric Quintana. He's got Josh Graham. So yeah, a lot of good players in one YouTube channel discussing their ideas and analysis on the meta. Very good channel to watch if you want to learn anything or two. The Eggman. And this one, Hayden has been, I would say, he's probably the hardest working person in all of Bandai content creators. He makes the most videos. He makes the most streams. He runs his side website, the Eggman Events. He recently started sponsoring players for his website, so super cool. But this man will give you any tournament report. He'll make his own decks and do streams, challenge himself, and do like little fun challenges on him. Oh, I'm gonna play this deck until I lose, and then go on to the next one. Things like that. So this guy is going to be one of your major resources for learning about the game and a competitive scene, I'd say. Where to buy product? Very tough question. It's very common in the community to ask where to buy product. It is very tough because it's like the Hunger Games. You can't find it anywhere, right? This game is white hot, and the shelves get cleared the moment they get stocked. The game has been stocked in retailers like Walmart, Target, Five Below, Hot Topic, Barnes & Nobles, probably more. You'll see it every now and then on a shelf, but more often than not, people have found their ways to know when they stock them, so they immediately pull them out. Sad, unfortunate. I've only been fortunate enough to see it being stocked a couple times, and I bought a few packs here and there, some dual packs, some blisters, starter decks. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you some stores you can go into online or in person if you go, you'll buy them, right? And get some product. So most importantly, your LGS, so your local game shop, and that should be the number one place to go to because one, you're supporting the your locals. You are establishing a connection with your store, the place that you play your game at, right? Of course, there's not going to be a blanket statement because they might have different pre-order policies. They might have different allocations, but this should be the first place to ask because that way, you don't got to wait for shipping. You can just go and pick up your product. For that, we got Core TCG, and that is a Pasadena, California-based company. They have their own in-person store in Pasadena, and they do any Bandai game. They'll sell online. They're also very early on pre-orders. So like the moment the distributor drops the listing for an item, they're going to put up their own listing for the product too. So the downside to their good prices, much like PPG, it's going to be that they have pre-orders super, super early, sometimes 6 months or so in advance. And Pro Play Games, this is the East Coast version of that, one of the bigger TOs, and they have a store in Miami, Florida. Same thing as Core TCG. These guys have very fair prices, way below what a lot of people will see in stores sometimes. And the only downside, again, is that the list their items super, super early. So again, it's a trade-off whether you want to pay less or order it way in advance and you're going to forget about it later, right? But ultimately, I do go to these websites to get things ASAP because I want to secure my product. After that, my personal recommendation, Gamers R Us. This is a Cocoa, Florida-based store. It's a store, LGS, where they have all events for One Piece card game. They do case tournaments, one case, all the pre-releases, local weekly tournaments, all these stuff. Super cool, guys. They do have their pre-orders, pardon me, usually for cases closer to the release date. So you don't have to fret and wait for, a product to be announced on a distro and immediately go to the website. You can find it later on, so it's easier and more relaxed to find it. Lastly, on the terminal stores, I do want to give a shout out to Gamers R Us because, again, like I said, they're one of my LGSs and they're one of my favorite stores. I originally got introduced to them via Joku. Thank you, Janik. They're great friends of mine. Their store, if you're looking for any place to play, trade, buy cards, look no further on Gamers R Us. It's one of my favorite stores to be at. Their management and the staff are very friendly. Their community is super loyal. They're kind and very hospitable. Since day one, since I've gone to that store, everybody has been absolutely nice over there. Everyone is super chill. It's one of those places where you can just leave your backpack and they're like, all right, we're watching your backpack for you. We got you, They're very respectful, very nice store, big playing area. They have all these tournaments for all these games. If you're in Florida, I highly recommend this store, guys. Now, closing comments. I think I went over everything that I wanted to speak. Hopefully the presentation here helped you give you any information for something that you might have not known. And I covered as many questions that I could have. Of course, there's always going to be questions, and they're never going to be dumb questions. Always ask, because then if you don't ask, you'll never know, right? Then, like I said earlier at the beginning of the video, I'm going to make it so everybody can access this. I'm going to make it a public link so you can go into the slide and scroll through it and see it as you see fit. Or make a Linktree, which I do have the link already in there. And the Linktree is going to have every single link that I mentioned in this video. And then also one last thing I gotta say, if you guys like the video, you guys want to support me, I want to go over some other things that you can do for me. I want to say thank you to all of you guys. I couldn't do this without you. This game is super fun. I've been doing content for a long time, but this is the one game I legitimately have had so much fun. The community is amazing. I have never met such amazing people in any other card game. Of course, there's a few exceptions here and there, but this is the one that's had the most, and it's been truly for me a life-changing experience. I've gone to travel the world. I go to every state. I go to all the regionals. I've gone to Europe. I've gone to Mexico. I've gone to cast events in English, in Spanish. I went to Japan and I spectated the World Finals front row. I was featured on the stream. It was an amazing experience, and I hope that this game continues to thrive and be successful. So if you guys want to support me, and if you don't already, I have got my Discord link, my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitch, my X. I put on all my links, my YouTube also. We can follow, like, subscribe. I mostly do blog with news posts, tournament stuff, deck profiles. But occasionally, like this video, I'll do more YouTube videos as well. I do have some affiliate links, so if you want to buy stuff via Dueling Guard, I do have my link right there. Or you can also use OrangeSamuraiD at the checkout. You do get 5% off, and I do get a small share from that, so that's another way you can support me as well. You can also use my TCG Player affiliate link, and same thing. That one unfortunately does not have a discount attached to it, but if you buy cards through that link, it will give me a bit of that share. So if you want to help me out, and instead of just going straight to the website, why not use the link, right? Additionally, it's something I'm still working on the Kings and touching it up. I have started a subscription for Facebook and Instagram. There's a link for the Facebook one, and I have one on Instagram. You can see via the app as well, and as well as a YouTube one. Personally, I'm not a big fan of putting things behind a paywall, so it's not going to have a lot per se. So it's going to be more about supporting me and helping me a little bit, because sometimes, it's a lot of work to take time off work to go and do events, get all these products open, travel, all these other things. So if you really want to go above and beyond, I'm not asking for this, but if you want to help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. You absolutely don't have to do this, but again, if you want to throw me $1 a month, I'll greatly appreciate it. I will, however, try to do little doodads to make things worth your time every now and then. But again, like I said, because I'm mostly a news page, I don't want to paywall things. So most of the things that I post will always be public. So yeah, guys, that is the One Piece card game Bible. I'm so glad I finally got to make this video. But yeah, I wanted to make this so everybody can find a place or more to find all this information. So I hope you guys are watching this video, had a good time. I hope this becomes useful to you, and in the future, you can maybe come back and show, hey, if you want to get in the game to your friend, you can show them this video or this slideshow or this Linktree so they can go and find out stuff. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and checking it out. I really appreciate y'all. I can't say, I run this entirely on you guys. I do this for you guys. I love this game. I love the community. I am having the time of my life, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the next event. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time.